They had the soundtrack blaring for each different part that you went through. They had like a Christmas town section. It was a lot of fun. Hey everyone, welcome back to Hexes and Horrors. It has been a while. I feel like I say that every time I post a YouTube video because I am not so consistent with them. I definitely took a little break throughout the month of October, like so many people do, or maybe not so many, but me. But I'm back and I'm going to be doing an October recap in this video, and then I do have some holiday videos coming up as well for the Creepmas Christmas holiday season. I hope everyone had an amazing, incredible Halloween and October. And now it's November. We're heading towards Thanksgiving and into the holiday season. So I know everyone is gearing up for that. People have already decorated for Christmas. People are already in full-on Christmas mode. I'm still very much in fall mode. I like to just enjoy the rest of November and the rest of fall before I head into Christmas. I think both are equally cozy. And then once Christmas ends, I still have the entire month of January and February to be cozy and cuddled up, candles burning, reading a book or watching TV. So I tend to kind of celebrate or enjoy seasons after the big holidays have already passed, if that makes sense, which is probably why I don't start them early on. I kind of wait a little longer, but then like extend it past the holiday. I've loved seeing everyone's decorations and things so far. It is getting me more excited for the holiday season and making the fact that Halloween and October have passed a little bit easier to deal with. So let's get into this October recap. I'm just going to be talking about some of the things that I did throughout the month and for Halloween and celebrating spooky season all month long. This month was actually, I wouldn't say light on activities and doing things, but I didn't travel as much as I usually do. I sometimes go to Salem in October. I haven't done that in a while, actually, probably since maybe like 2 years. But I did do a few other fun things, so I'd love to tell you what those things are, and I'd love to hear what you did in October as well. So I'm going to start from the beginning of the month and then work my way up towards Halloween. So the first weekend of October, my mother actually came and visited me from New York. So she stayed for 2 nights, and she has been begging me to go to Jim Thorpe, which is a little mountain town in the Poconos. It's about an hour drive from where I live. I kept telling her, well, the best time to go is during the holidays, either October or December, when they have their Fall Fest or their Jim Thorpe's Old Time Christmas is what they call it. It's a Victorian style Christmas. So she decided to come that first weekend of October, and we headed up there and did some fun fall things. So that was the first weekend of October. We got tickets for their historic trolley ride. We had brunch at a restaurant while we were waiting for our trolley. We did some shopping. We got cider. I got like an apple cider mimosa. So we had some fall themed drinks, hot and cold. We checked out some of the shops and the market that they have down near where the train station is. There's a bunch of vendors, live music. There's a new shop there called Country Witch. So I got to go there for the first time. I got this cute jack-o'-lantern candle there. And I guess I can show you. It has some very pretty little rose petals, a little miniature pumpkin, some cool stuff inside, and it smells incredible. And that was the first weekend of October. So we had a little fall day in Jim Thorpe. Now, prior to October, not part of October, but it's still part of my Halloween recap, we had gone to the drive-in to see Beetlejuice. So about 20, maybe 15 to 20 minutes of a drive from where we live is the oldest drive-in theater in the country. It's Shankweiler's Drive-In in Schnecksville, Pennsylvania, which is so freaking cool. I love a drive-in. We used to go to the drive-in when we vacationed in the Catskills for the summer. My family would go up there every summer. We would always go to the drive-in there. And I just thought it was the coolest thing, the most fun thing to watch a movie that way. So I'm so lucky that we have one close to where we live. and not only have one, but have the oldest one in the country, the oldest still running one in the country, I think is what it is. But so they played Beetlejuice. We went to see that. That was really fun and kind of kicked off the Halloween season. I know a lot of people also went to see it when it came out. Yeah, so we did that. Drive in for Beetlejuice. Went to Jim Thorpe the first weekend of October. Second weekend of October, I went back to New York to visit my family. It was the weekend of my brother's 40th birthday. So we went out to dinner to celebrate his birthday. And while I was there for the weekend, we did some other fun things. I took one day and went into the city. I went to a couple different restaurants that are always really well decorated for the holidays, for Halloween and for Christmas. I did an NYC day. I went to Lily's Victorian and Oscar Wilde. This is Lily's Victorian here, and the next one will be Oscar Wilde. But there are two restaurants in the city that are well known for their holiday decor. They have a team come in and set everything up in one day, which is insane. It's just transformed into spooky, haunted holiday restaurant. So I went and checked out both of those places. Well worth it. Then I headed to the Upper East Side and I went to look at some of the Halloween decorations over there. If you follow any NYC pages, maybe you've seen this before, but a lot of the Upper East Side homes do really elaborate Halloween decorations for their porches. So I went to check out some of those. Some were really intense. Some were just like very beautiful and well done. Others were a little like less decorated, but very tasteful, which was also nice and appreciated. Then after I checked out the Halloween decor on the Upper East Side, I headed over to Williamsburg, Brooklyn, and took the Madame Morbid trolley tour for the second time. I took it once, I think maybe the year they opened for the first time or possibly the year after. And they were nice enough to invite me back for a second trolley ride. So I took them up on that opportunity and took the tour again. It's really fun, the Madame Morbid trolley. If you live in NYC and especially Brooklyn, you should definitely take it. They run their tours, I don't know if they're year round, but I think they have some tours in the summer and then they open up more for the October spooky season. I think they also do a holiday trolley tour maybe, but it's essentially a haunted tour of Brooklyn, which is so fun. So they take you to different supposedly haunted spots. They tell you the history of each place. They tell you, of course, why it's thought to be haunted and what different apparitions have apparently been seen there. Some of the fun ones were a Staples store that is built over, I forget what kind of huge burial ground, like a revolutionary burial ground. Then there's also a Trader Joe's that I can't remember what that was built on top of, but it's supposedly haunted because of what's lying underneath, which is usually bodies. The trolley tour lasts for an hour and a half, and they really take you all around Brooklyn. You go down towards Dumbo and back up to where you started, which is in Williamsburg, right near McCarren Park. It's a really fun tour if you like haunted history, if you just like Brooklyn history or New York City history. That's a really fun one to try out. So that is the Madame Morbid trolley tour. Then I headed back home from the city, and that same night, after I had spent the day in the city, my mom had gotten us tickets for the Nightmare Before Christmas light trail at the New York Botanical Gardens. So we went to that, my parents, myself, my brother, and my sister-in-law. That was a lot of fun, and I haven't seen The Nightmare Before Christmas in a few years. I am due to watch it again. I wish I had watched it right before we went, just to have like seen it fresh in my mind beforehand. But it was so much fun. My favorite display was the Oogie Boogie display that they had. It turned, it lit up. It was really cool. My only gripe with that experience was that so it's like a walking light trail, and they had different statues of all the different characters from the film, but there were hordes of people lining up to take photos with the statues. So the lines were like the lines were huge. And, there were staff members directing everyone saying, over here on this side, if you want to take a photo, this side, if you want to keep walking and just continue through the trail, which is all fine and well, but it made it really difficult for anybody else who wasn't in that line to take any pictures of the statues or like really see some of them because people were standing in front of them to take like their family photos. I don't have a better solution, to be honest, but I do wish that they had maybe come up with a better solution so that everybody's able to see all the different statues. It did make it a little bit difficult, but it was still amazing and so much fun. They had the soundtrack blaring for each different part that you went through. They had like a Christmas Town section. I had heard it was a short trail, but I thought it was pretty. I didn't think it was too short. And it was a lot of fun because they had planned the light trail in the same sequence that the movie takes place. So when you entered, it was like the giant pumpkin door it was supposed to be that you were walking through. And then they had the light up tunnel, like you're falling down into Halloween Town. And then you meet like, the mayor, some different characters from Halloween Town, and it takes you through to Jack and Sally, the scientist, eventually through Christmas Town. Like it followed the same sequence that the movie did, which was really fun. So that was incredible. I was really glad to experience that. And this is the first year that they ran that event. So we'll see if they do it again next year, if they do a different themed movie. And we went home. The next day, my mom and I went to Sleepy Hollow. I basically dragged her with me. It was a disaster. We had tried to go to the stand-up witches paddleboarding, which only happens on one day each October, and people dress up as witches and get on paddleboards in the Hudson River and take a route where they paddle through. I had thought that they were just kind of paddling like right in the area where the lighthouse is, the Sleepy Hollow Lighthouse. So I thought that you would be able to see them the whole time and that they kind of like just went out towards, I guess, towards Jersey, if you know what the Hudson River looks like over there by the Tappan Zee Bridge. I thought they kind of like went across and came back, but apparently they went, I don't know, left or right. And when we got there, we couldn't see them. But the traffic was absolutely insane near Kingsland Point Park where that was taking place. We had actually gotten through Tarrytown and Sleepy Hollow pretty easily, which is not typical for a weekend in October. But then we hit like crazy traffic trying to get to that little festival. So I had like dragged my mom there. We had a lot of trouble finding parking and getting to the stand-up paddleboarding, and then we didn't even see the witches because they had gone somewhere else, and we had to be back in time for my brother's dinner for his birthday. So we didn't really get to do like anything else that we had kind of hoped to do. We were trying to go get coffee at Coffee Lab Roasters in Tarrytown. That didn't happen. I guess it was just too rushed and there was too much traffic. Then we got home late for my brother's birthday, and of course, everyone was mad at me, or at least my parents were, because I was not very good at my time perception, we'll say. But so I did go to Sleepy Hollow, but it was sort of rushed and didn't really spend a lot of time there. Then we had dinner for my brother's 40th birthday at a Spanish restaurant. It was a lot of fun. I think he had a lot of fun. And then I went home, drove back to Pennsylvania. That was really the most of what I did in October, was those first 2 weekends. The third weekend of October, I didn't do anything. I just stayed home, watched some scary movies, relaxed. I really just stayed home, which I was happy to do. It was nice and relaxing. And then the fourth weekend of October, which was the weekend before Halloween, I did much of the same and just relaxed. Halloween night, my husband and I handed out candy in our neighborhood. Our town, the towns in Pennsylvania are different from New York. New York, everyone celebrates Halloween on Halloween. Here in Pennsylvania, all the towns do their trick-or-treating on different nights. So they try to make it on a weekend night so that the kids don't have to go to school the next day. But our town always does it on Halloween, which I appreciate because I think that should just be the way it is for everyone. So we handed out candy on Halloween night. that was a lot of fun. I had all my decorations and my lights going, got the strobes on, the fog machine. It was really fun to do. I dressed up as a zombie cheerleader, and my husband refused to wear any costume, so boo to him. Then, after we passed out candy for trick or treating, we walked to the next block from us, where one of our neighbors every year creates a haunted corn maze in his front yard. I checked it out last year, but my husband had not seen it. So this year we went over together and walked through. He drills holes into the ground and then puts each corn stalk into the holes. They had like a crazy rig for their fog machine. It was like a giant PVC tube they had created coming out into the corn maze. But it was so cool the way that they do it. They have carved jack-o'-lanterns lit up and set up all around the front of the corn maze. And then you walk through, and he's dressed as like a faceless scarecrow, and he jumps out and scares people. So really like just top notch for the production of that haunted court maze. It was really well done. He advertises around town. He puts little signs up saying to check out the Halloween haunt, and he gives what street it's on. And he had put a sign on our lawn to advertise. I said that he could do that. So it was just really fun, and it's fun to have a neighbor who's also as into Halloween as you are. So we checked out that corn maze. We came back home. And that was it. That was the end of October. Yeah, I mean, I had a great October. I did feel like it went by very quickly. Last year, I feel like October went by slow, but this year I did feel that it went by pretty fast. That is my little October recap. I waited until actually last weekend, which was I think the first weekend of November. And now this weekend, I'm finally finishing taking down all the Halloween. I got most of the things up into the attic. I have just a couple more things to bring up. I reorganized all my decorations and decor in the attic, so everything is in its own special bin, costumes, graveyard, everything's separated. I'm really pleased about that because it was a mess before. But yeah, so this weekend Halloween is officially down. I do still have fall out, so I have pumpkins on the porch, my fall wreath, my fall doormat, and probably over the next 2 weekends, I'll start to pull Christmas stuff down and start to decorate for Christmas. I don't do a ton of decorations for Christmas. I have some pine garlands, Christmas tree. I have also a spooky Christmas tree, and then some lights for outside, but that's really it. So we'll see if I make a decorate with me video or something like that. I don't really go crazy with it, so there's not too much to show, but maybe I'll be posting that. We'll see. Thank you for joining me for my little October recap. I would love to know what everyone else did for October. If you made it to the end of this video, let me know in the comments something fun that you did. If you traveled somewhere, if you went to a light show or a haunted house, anything. Tell me what you did. Tell me what the most fun thing that you did was. And thank you guys, as always, for watching. Keep your eyes peeled for my holiday videos that are coming up. I'm going to be filming a December in Salem video, as well as a holidays in Eastern Pennsylvania video, so different activities and things to do that are in my area. Hope to see you guys soon, and if you're not already following me over on Instagram and TikTok, it's the same handle, Hexes and Horrors. I hope to see you again in another video, and thanks again for watching.